you get involved in the project?
Disney sent the script to my agents, and what was different about it was they sent it only to me, which is not a thing that always happens. And so no one else could say yes to the project until I said no, which is a very strange thing to consider. Typically, 5 directors are reading the same script. And then when I read it, when I finally actually started reading it, I thought there was a very interesting story amongst the characters, and I thought the technology was kind of cool, and that it would be interesting to explore how I could use it to tell stories the way I like to tell stories.
Mm-hmm. And regarding that, CGI and animation have very different times and schedules and live action. How long have you been working on the project?
I had my first script meeting in August 2020 on this film, so you could say since August 2020. I think physical production, maybe November 2020. We took a 30-second section of the film, 30 seconds that you guys saw today, and we did that first, from the beginning all the way to the end, just so we could understand every element of the process, and then we went back and made the whole film.
And as a director, what is your work different from a live-action film?
Oh, the biggest difference is in a live-action film, which I love, it's, you know, you get a group of people, 30, 40 people, and you guys make a plan, and there's a script, and you agree on the script and the costumes, you're scouting, but then on the day, you get to the set, whether it's like a stage like this or you're outdoors, and you can feel all this energy amongst all these different people. You know, the light feels one way, the wind is a different way, the actor has a different energy that day, the camera operator has, and you're just trying to figure out, like as a magician almost, what is the perfect alchemy to yield the most potent image from this group of people, from this group of elements? How do they combine into something that's worth capturing? That's live action. With CGI, you have to intellectually see all the elements, but see them in your head, understand what everyone is doing and is going to do, and still try to engineer this alchemy where all these different people can come together to create an image, just not in real time at the same moment in the same physical space.
I find that really difficult.
It is really difficult, yeah, it is.
Because one of my biggest questions is, how do you handle changes or if you kind of change the approach of something, is there room for changes in the process?
There's tons of room for changes in the process, but those changes it's a luxury to have everyone physically there. You know, the show I made right before this, or for a year I made at the same time as the Underground Railroad, that was just like, it was fucking amazing. It was just like 150 people all together in a space, from the truck drivers, like driving the trucks that power the set, all the way to the actors, everyone just sharing the same energy to try and capture the best image. In this case, you have to intellectually, as a director, break down every element of that process and kind of project where the compositor, you know, where the virtual cam animator, where the stage animators, you know, where the voice actors, where the post animators, where all those people are going to come in and contribute their part of the chemical equation. And so it is different, but you just have to intellectually do more work as a director.
Yeah, you mentioned the actors, and how is the work with the voice actors? At what point in the production do they get involved? And how
Very first.
Do they work together? They work in different places?
They work together, but in different places. But because it's voices, they can all hear each other. Okay. Again, we started this project during COVID, so for the first 2 years, physically no one could be together, especially the voice actors, because they can't wear masks, so they couldn't be together. They'd have to be in different booths, but sometimes we'd have an actor in Mallorca, an actor in London, an actor in LA, an actor in South Africa, but they could all hear each other in real time. Technology is amazing, and I could direct them all together in real time. So that one element has the same energy as live action. It's just there's only voices. Then we would get that edited together, limit it because we're trying to, and I don't like this, we're trying to edit the perfect performance, the perfect version of the scene with all these different voice talents, and so we get that locked. Then I take it to stage, now I have a bunch of animators in motion capture suits And now they're in live real time, they're acting out the physical blocking, all the movement, timed to the voices that they hear projected all over the stage. So it's separate from the voices, but it's still live and in real time. I'm making changes. But once that's done, that gets fixed. Now we animate the movie in what I call the PlayStation 3 version, then we shoot that. That's fixed. We can change it a little bit, we can't change it a lot, but we're changing the camera constantly. And so it's like you're bit by bit, you have to sort of like destabilize or segregate, you know, all these things that we do at once in live action. But it's like juggling a spinning plate. If you really think about it deep enough, you can sort of figure out, okay, this part's gonna come in here and somehow that's gonna yield what I call an imperfect or a supple or a warm image.
And how much of the voice work is set in stone? I mean, can you re-record afterwards if you feel something is...
You can, and we did sometimes, but the farther a scene advances in animation, the more difficult it is to change. Exactly. So the 39 minutes you saw, all of that's probably like 95, 98% done. And because of that, changing a single syllable of that, very difficult. Very expensive. Literally, the machines, it takes so long to render something at that level that sometimes there's not enough time to do it. So you have to, you know, I love to try to have this very live stimulus that you can make changes, but the deeper in the process I realize the change, the more difficult it is. So what do I have to do? I have to be thinking 8 steps ahead, but still trying to keep the process very live.
Yeah, I think it's really, really difficult to the projection. I mean,
but it's also cool because it's like this game. You know, you're making all these different pieces and you're sort of gambling with this piece. I can finish this one all the way. I'm not going to change that. But then you do this thing with this actor. It's like, oh, fuck. You know, it'd be great if we did. And so you're just always reconfiguring this jigsaw puzzle.
What techniques do you use to visualize this complex CGI scene? You rely on storyboards, animatics. How does it work?
Storyboards and animatics for sure. While we were doing the voice records with the actors, I was having sessions with the storyboard artists constantly. We actually had a group of actors before the principal cast that we recorded the whole film with. I called it the temp acting troupe because I wanted the storyboard artists to have something that represented my direction and boarding the film. So the storyboards, the animatic process was very important. And we did that twice because we did it with the temp acting troupe because we just had to get it going. And then we did it with the main principal cast as well. It's hyper important, one of the most important parts of the process.
Wow.
But the difference is we're not beholden to the animatic. Once we had the animatic, it was just to get us to the point where we could animate the film in what I call the PlayStation 3 intermediate version of the movie, which is what we go in and shoot. But when we go in and shoot, the storyboards mean nothing because now we're capturing dailies. It's like we're taking an animated process, taking it back to live action where the editor has tons of footage. So one day we could decide, oh, I don't want to tell that scene from Mufasa's perspective, I want to tell that from Scar's perspective. In a Pixar movie, you have to go back and reboard the entire scene and then reanimate the entire scene. In our case, we just pull up different dailies and reapproach how we're editing the scene.
Wow, thank you so much.
No, another one. You got more? This is cool stuff. We have to go. I have to go to the airport. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much.
So you were sitting up to the right? In the middle?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw your face. I was trying to figure out, what the hell is he making of this?